Good morning, Packers fans. Aaron Negler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It's Wednesday, middle of the week. Not a lot going on Packers news-wise, but always something to talk about when it comes to the green and gold. Specifically right now, I'm just seeing all these articles and lists and things about cap casualties and potential cuts. And man, I ain't about that life. We still got a Super Bowl to watch, people. Can we just wait? Can we just hold off? I know the content machine needs to get filled, but man, it's hard to think about guys like Za'Darius Smith, who most likely will not be back. Um, Questions around Billy Turner. Will Randall Cobb return? I mean, these are all things that the Packers are going to be kind of wrestling with over the course of these next few weeks. And I just hate it, man. They had such a good group this year. They had such a good team, such a good roster. We've known, obviously, all year long after they kind of did what they did to keep the band together, so to speak, for one final run. We knew a reckoning was coming when it came to the salary cap, and we are almost there. I'm just trying not to think about it because, man, I do not envy the work that Russ Ball and Brian Gutekunst have to do in the next couple of weeks. Morning, everybody in the comments section. Good to see everybody. Dale, good day from London. Good day from New York. I hope you're well. Thanks for watching us on Facebook, buddy. Sly, Lowry should be kept. I think you look at his output this year, it's, I would say, probably his best year in the green and gold. I don't think his cap hit is untoward, so to speak. I would understand if they wanted to restructure him, but I'd be surprised if they moved on, if for no other reason. The depth along the line is pretty precarious as it is, even with him. I thought, like I said, I think he had his best year. And now, is that, any surprise given that, they did adjust his contract and he had to earn some things back and accept things of that nature? Guys who want it, they tend to kind of perform in those scenarios. But whatever the reason, he absolutely came to play each and every week. And I love the tandem of him and Kenny. Obviously, you'd still like to get Kenny some more help, but uh, Dean's a pretty damn important part of this defense, a defense that looked pretty damn good its final game of the year. So I hope they find a way. I hope they don't move on from Dean. Carrington, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. First, you shill Woodson whiskey, then he mentions trading Rodgers. How much did you pay Charles to join your anti-dog agenda? Thank you so much. I needed that laugh. That is great. Yeah, Charles and I, longtime friends, obviously. We go way back. I didn't even shill for the whiskey. That was purely just a friend doing a friend a favor. And obviously returning in kind. Charles saying that the Packers should trade Aaron Rodgers just so he spares me having to buy a dog for Olive. You have cracked the code. That's great. Hey, but speaking of, and thanks for bringing it up, I was surprised that Charles just said it out loud into a microphone. I mean, that's interesting. Charles Woodson is on the they should probably trade Aaron Rodgers train. That's not a voice I was expecting to hear in that chorus. So that's it. Yeah, it's very interesting. That's all. Just an unexpected voice there. M is King headed out. I know people want to get rid of Kevin King, but I doubt it. I mean, I don't know. He's got so many void years in his contract. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but um, yeah, if they can get him on an adjusted deal that is a little bit less rich, so to speak, I wouldn't mind having him back. I don't think they would either. They really kind of found a niche for him down the stretch there in that dime package. Now, that's what I mean. You don't want to overpay a guy to play in your dime, obviously, but he still got some value, especially when they utilized him weirdly along the interior. If you go back and watch the playoff game, which I highly suggest you don't because it's heartbreaking, but there are a couple third downs where they utilize him mugging the A gap and then dropping out. And one in particular, they ran a blitz off the quarterback's right side, and he drops out into a zone to take away Kittle, who was clearly the hot read for the quarterback for Garoppolo. And Garoppolo has to eat the ball, and they get a sack. It's just little things like that where, I I can see how utilizing him in the dime along the interior, matching up against tight ends with his length, like there's a little value there. So now, all that said, maybe they do. Maybe they do move on and try and find that skill set some other place. That wouldn't surprise me. But Brian brought him back. He clearly likes the player. So is there a chance he's back? Yeah, I'd say there probably is. Alex, thanks for the super chat. Super Bowl is always the best case for next season, but what's your worst case? Mine is 12 and 17 are gone. Jenkins out all year. 10 is awful, but the team is 7 and 10 somehow. Yeah, that's pretty bad. I can't believe there's a world where both Rodgers and Devontae are gone. I know you're making stuff up, so that's fine, but I can't live there. The worst case scenario is they sign Aaron Rodgers to a huge contract extension. He gets injured right away early in the season, and he never rebounds and regains his MVP form. And now they're locked in for their 5 years with an aging, crippled quarterback who can't recapture past glory. That's the worst case scenario. Jeff, thanks for the super chat. I heard a podcast yesterday about counterfeit pappies. Be careful where you spend your money. Pappy's fun. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for looking out, man. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Good morning, Nags. How far back is way back? Interesting. You've known Woodson for a long time. Are we talking pre-Packer days? That's actually cool. Chris, I was totally kidding. If that was not apparent in my answer, that was sarcasm. I don't know Charles from Adam. I mean, I know who he is, obviously, because he's an amazing football player. But yeah, no, Charles and I are not friends, and we're not enemies. I don't know him at all. I don't quote Chappelle. I don't know this guy at all. VM, thanks for the super chat. Hi, Nags. If the Packers are playing in Germany in the next years, would you travel to Germany to watch the game? Greetings from Dortmund. Yes, I have told Corey there is no way we are not going to games in London, games in Germany, wherever the Packers go internationally. We are going. So get ready. Hopefully it's in October. We get to head up Oktoberfest because Corey and I will be there. David, thanks for the super chat. Did Green Bay waste Rodgers' prime, or did Rodgers waste Green Bay's prime? Going with latter due to playoff stats and poor decision-making in the clutch. Rip the Band-Aid off. David's still in his feelings. I understand it. The wasting of the prime thing is so silly, as I've discussed many, many times. But, it's a wasted opportunity this past decade, essentially. You cannot deny that, for both parties. There's no two ways about it. John, thanks for the super chat. To lead into your DraftKings promo, any bets you like for the Super Bowl this weekend? Oh, they juiced up their Cooper Kupp scoring a TD at any time bet last night. I think that's a no-brainer. I just don't see how the Rams escape this game without Cooper Kupp scoring a touchdown. Speaking of which, hey, thanks for the segue idea. Greatly appreciate it. So why don't we give a shout out to our good friends over at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code CHEESEHEAD. That's promo code CHEESEHEAD. Head to the DraftKings Sportsbook app right now and check out all they have to offer, including same-game parlays, player props, live betting, and so much more. DraftKings, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is safe, secure, and reliable. You can deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. If Sportsbook is not yet available in your state, don't forget about the DraftKings Fantasy app. They are offering millions of dollars in total prizes every week. Do it, people. Download DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use promo code CHEESEHEAD. That's promo code CHEESEHEAD. Get on it. Thanks for that, John. Good looking out. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Pack have always had a problem allowing a tight end to gain inside leverage on them. Happened with Kittle, Andrews, and more obnoxiously Ingram. And, oh, man, I got so excited that you knew him. Yeah, well, I understand. Yeah, the tight end has bedeviled the Packers defense regardless of scheme for quite some time. There's no doubt about that. They certainly have allowed things, not just giving up yardage, not just to tight ends, but also oftentimes just the middle of the field in general, regardless of position. I thought they improved a little bit in that regard this year, but the tight end, yes, continued to be kind of a thorn in their side. Now, all that said, outside of Ingram, you talk about, Andrews and Kittle, those are premier talents. They're going to get theirs. Like, it's too hard to keep a guy like that down for an entire game, unless the offensive game plan completely, ignores him. It's going to be tough to lock those guys down. And it's not like Kittle had did a ton of damage against the Packers. He had that one really big key reception late in the game. He had a monster drop early on a third down. But for the most part, I thought they did okay against Kittle. Andrews obviously is a beast and gave them all sorts of problems. So the Kittle drop reminded me of something. It was so funny. I was in an argument with someone the other day on Twitter. I know, shocking. And they were, DeGuara came up and, DeGuara is a wasted draft pick because he dropped a pass in a playoff game. And I'm like, George Kittle dropped a pass in a playoff game. His quarterback came back to him. It's just funny how people want to make these sweeping proclamations because of one play in one game. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Opening the wallet for Bisaccia makes me think they're committed to another season with 12. Thoughts? Go Pack Go from a new shareholder. Congratulations, Em. Yeah, I could see connecting the dots, so to speak, there because, they want to go all in again. Last Dance 2, Electric Boogaloo. But I also think it's possible that Matt LaFleur just said enough of this shit as far as nickel and diming it at special teams coordinator. Don't forget, it's his program, right? Regardless of who the quarterback is, it reflects on him. The fact that they ran out 10 dudes on the last play of the fucking season on special teams is, yes, a condemnation of the Green Bay Packers special teams and Mo Drayton, everybody involved with the operation, but it reflects poorly on Matt. And I think there's a good chance that Matt just said, you know what, this is enough. We've got to stop kind of playing tiddlywinks on special teams. Again, regardless of who the quarterback might be. So I do think it's more organizational, kind of forward looking than just are they going to bring Rodgers back. But that, I'm not completely dismissing that idea. Eric, thanks for the super chat. Good morning, Nags. With all the news between 12 and the front office, how do you think they look at this MVP season compared to his performance in the playoffs? I mean, it is such a matchup-specific league, right? And I do think you can separate a little bit because of the fact that it's the old adage, right? It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And clearly the 49ers have been on a roll throughout the latter half of the year, playing extremely well, especially on defense. The Packers had, I guess, a questionable game plan wise, and then that got thrown off even more when A.J. Dillon went down. But, Rodgers, he can carve up any defense. But if you rattle him early, you get, I guess, inside his head, which is a weird thing to say about a 17-year vet, but you can consistently see his eyes dropping to the rush. And hell, Tom Brady, who everyone calls the GOAT, same thing happens to him if you hit him early, So I think it's much more, they would look at it in isolation, like a matchup issue, rather than have it color or taint their perception of whatever value they place on Rodgers going forward, whether they want to sign him to an extension or trade him, what have you. I don't think that colors too much. Do I think it should? Probably. The idea that you have this aging quarterback who doesn't seem to embrace or play well when facing elite defenses in the cold. Well, if you're going to keep winning 13 games and getting home field advantage, you're going to play playoff games in the cold, most likely against the best defenses. Your quarterback has got to come alive in that scenario, not shrink from it. That's just me. GBP, man, thanks for the super chat. Favorite player from the Lombardi era? Mine is Ray. My dad brought my sister and I to a signing of his when I was 2. Picks from that day are now hanging in my office. Oh, and he was a beast. Man, that's cool as hell. Lombardi era. I got, probably Larry Crane. Yeah. It's hard to go over Bart Starr, but yeah, Kramer's probably it, just because he's the nicest man on earth and was really complimentary to Cheesehead TV and has spoken with us many times and has been a really, really just a great dude. And the few times I've gotten to talk to him. Jerry Kramer. Walter, thanks for the super chat. You may have already addressed it. Thoughts on Seawood? Oh, Walter, yeah, I talked about it early in the chat. I was surprised, very, very surprised. It's surprising. Not a voice I expected to be lobbing bouquets for the idea of a trade of Aaron Rodgers. But I've been surprised before. Too old for this. Thanks to the super chat. Everyone wondering if Rodgers comes back, but I'm over here wondering if Gogru comes back. Did you watch the finale today? My one-word non-spoiler review: tedious. That's all I got for you. Rodgers is a top 10 all-time QB, but that's where it ends. Stop with Rushmore. Stop with GOAT. Jimmy, legs, throwing it down. Telling you what's what. I think he's one of the most talented football players I've ever watched. I mean, there's no question there. At the position, the height, I think Greg Rosenthal put it perfectly, I think 3 or 4 years ago, when he said, Rodgers' highs are unmatched. They are unparalleled. And I will go to my grave saying that stretch in 2016, the run the table stretch, is the single greatest kind of consistent run of play from a quarterback that I've ever seen. Week after week after week, just dragging his team to victory, making plays outside the pocket, manufacturing shit where there's nothing available. It was unparalleled. However, the highs for Rodgers are not a consistent thing. There's way too much kind of variance there. And that's why people, when they talk about Brady being the GOAT, it's like he may not be the athletic freak and incredible talent that Rodgers is, but his consistent greatness is unparalleled and hard to beat back, hard to argue with, other than Bart Starr, who is the true GOAT. But Rodgers is amazing, and that's what people always come at me for. Oh, you're a Rodgers hater. It's like the furthest thing from a Rodgers hater. I completely relish getting to watch him play each and every week. He's one of the best to ever do it. His highs are amazing. They're just not consistent enough. How long have you known Blair Keel? Okay, now you guys are off the reservation. I like it. Mike, thanks for watching on Facebook there, buddy. Is Crosby likely gone? Yes. Not for sure. I'm nowhere near as sure that he is gone as I am Za'Darius. I think Za'Darius is the one kind of put it in pen. Mason, I would write it in pencil. I do think there's a possibility they find a way to bring him back, but I also would not be surprised at all if they decide to move on. Now, obviously, the entire operation, as they call it, for field goals and extra points had issues all year long. But, he missed, 10 kicks this year? 2 extra points? He can't get the ball into the end zone with any consistency on kickoffs anymore, especially in the cold. So, that's like a $4 or $5 million cap hit. Nah, I think that, there's a good chance that he's played his last down in the green and gold. Draft a kicker if we move on from Mason. John, I talked about that yesterday. It's a possibility. I think they would maybe use a late pick. But they've kept J.J. Molson on the practice squad for 2 years now? Like a year and a half? They're definitely going to see what he's got at least. And they've seen some of what he's got in practice, clearly. So I think J.J. will get a crack at winning the job. I don't think it'll be handed to him. I think there'll definitely be competition, and it will most likely come from a late draft choice. All right, everybody, I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Please do me a huge favor. Hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great day. Go Pack, go.